Ja.
With the help of the Almighty, we have come here, a delegation of rabbis, Orthodox Jews, to plead with the presidential candidates that they should understand that we are being misrepresented. Jews around the world stand. We are frustrated. We cry when we see that our name has been rubbed in the soil, that our name has been hijacked. The identity of Judaism is being used to rebel against the Almighty with Zionism and the State of Israel. And now at this time when they're having the conference, the Democratic conference, to take up a presidential candidate, and the Republicans are taking up their candidate, we are pleading with them that they should speak in the name of the government of the United States of America. They should speak up and say, we understand that Judaism is a religion and that it has nothing to do with the Zionist state of Israel, and that to sympathize with Judaism and to feel for the Jewish people has nothing to do with the support of this rebellion against the Almighty, this rebellion and this terrible crime of oppressing the Palestinian people, subjugating them, throwing them out of their homes. Please understand that this is not what Judaism is. On the contrary, Judaism requires that we should not steal, we should not kill, we should not make any attempts at Jewish sovereignty. In other words, this Zionist state of Israel is totally in contradiction to our Judaism. Former President Clinton mentioned yesterday that Mrs. Clinton is a change maker. So we're pleading with her, as this sign says, Mrs. Clinton, as a change maker, please support the Free Palestine. Judaism rejects Zionism and the State of Israel. Remember that and understand that the support of godliness, the support and the help for the Jewish people is by, with God's help, helping to bring a speedy and peaceful dismantlement of this rebellion against God, this heretical state of Israel, this terrible criminal entity. And by doing so, it will bring that we as Jews can once more show our appreciation for the Muslim and Arab people, for the home and safe haven they have provided for hundreds of years for the Jewish people. And over thousands of years, Jews have been living in Iran and in Taiman, in Yemen, and throughout the Arab and Muslim world, and we have to show our appreciation. Remember, it is not a religious conflict that we're dealing with here. It's not that Muslims hate Jews. That's despicable. That's a Zionist ploy to gain sympathy for their illegitimate cause. Understand the difference, the clear difference. The distinct difference between Judaism and Zionism. Judaism is subservience to God. Zionism is the antithetical to that. Zionism is the diametric opposite to that. It's a material concept, a concept of having a piece of land, ignoring that God forbid us to do that, to have a land, to have Jewish sovereignty. God forbid us to oppress a people. And we wait for the day when the Almighty will reveal His glory throughout the world, where all humanity will recognize the one God. And then, as God promised us, He will end the exile. We will go up to the Holy Land and serve God. But till that day comes, when the Almighty, without any human intervention, brings about this redemption, Jews will never accept even 1 inch of a state of Israel, of Zionism, a concept of any Jewish sovereignty. A state of Israel will never be acceptable because it is one piece of heresy. Remember that, and we plead with the Muslim people to understand. We feel the suffering that is being done by the Zionists to you. Remember, we cry with the suffering of the Palestinian people. And that is why we are out here today, to let the world know that we are urging all our politicians to help support a free Palestine, with entirely removing this impediment to peace, entirely removing this cause of bloodshed, of Muslims, Arabs, Jews, and the cause of animosity throughout the world, and especially in Palestine, the removal of the Zionist state of Israel. God should help it should happen sooner nowadays, and we should be able to live in harmony once again, and we should be able to proudly stand together and say, here we are returning, there is a free Palestine, and we want to be your citizens if you will allow us, and ultimately the day when the Almighty will reveal His glory throughout the world, where all humanity will recognize the one God, sooner nowadays, amen.